So I started actively practicing magic in the spring of 2019. I had done I started out just basically with meditation, and which is something I was doing when I was a Christian. But it was the intention of balancing and making sure my energy was moving the way it was supposed to. That's how I started. And then I did money magic, and that was the majority of the stuff that I was doing. However, and this is what I wanted to talk about in this video, I did do what some would describe to be a love spell. And this was in the fall of 2019. I got some green chime counters, and I had an oil blend that had the intention of summoning an ancient goddess, ancient Mesopotamian goddess, Inanna, Queen of Heaven. Some scholars would describe her based on their architectural findings as a goddess of sex and a goddess of war, but that speaks more to their social location than who Inanna actually is. Inanna is a sovereign goddess, and I don't think a lot of people in our time, in our American context, could ever really, or just our Western context, could ever wrap their heads around a goddess being sovereign, or being on such a level. At any rate, I used an oil blend that I purchased from magicalmystic.com. And if I recall correctly, there was a deal, and I could get 3 summoning oil blends. It was like an intuitive bundle. The person who was on the sale would intuitively discern which energies were closest to me and closest working with me. And so, and based on that, she gave me 3 oil blends. One was Isis, the ancient Egyptian goddess Isis. Belith, who is what would be described as an old god or a demon, and the ancient goddess, Mesopotamian goddess Inanna. So remember, I had just come out of the Christian tradition. In many ways, you could say that I was still part. I hadn't openly publicly said that I had left the tradition yet, but I was working magic, and I was being I was intuitive about it, but meaning I didn't have a teacher yet, or a mentor, or a spiritual life coach yet, that would help me and guide me. But I was testing the waters, and one of the things about being in the Christian tradition, I was trying to wait to have sex before I got married. I was trying to wait. I was trying to be celibate, and that celibacy went on 14 years, and I'm a Sagittarius, so you know, if you know anything about that, then enough said. But anyway, I decided I was going to end that celibacy, and if Inanna was close to me, I was going to ask her for her help. And so I had those green chime candles, and I dressed them with the Inanna Summoning Oil blend, and the initial incantation, which was basically a non-Abrahamic version of a prayer. It's more of an incantation. It's not Inanna, please help bring somebody into my life. It wasn't Inanna bring somebody into my life. It was, I set the intention for somebody to come into my life, and Inanna, I'm asking you to help me. And then the subsequent candle work that I did the days after that was, Inanna, thank you for helping me call. And what I was asking for, I wasn't actually asking for a partner. I was asking for, because it had been so long, I was asking for a short-term sex partner. And so I did that. I burned a chime candle each day for about 3 days. There was someone I liked, and I let them know that I liked them, but they were not interested in me in that way. And it was probably good, because I couldn't see her as a short-term sex partner. But after 3 days, there was a young lady who I took out to lunch, and it ended up turning into a fling, like a 6-week fling. And even then, I was still kind of in Christian mode, because once she had expressed that she was interested in me, I tried to deal with her as if we were going to be like dating, like courting or whatever. She didn't want to do that. She didn't say it explicitly, but she said some things that made me conclude that this was a short-term relationship. And one thing that I would say about the summoning of a deity, the summoning of a divine energy, as well as a divine energy helping you or co-creating a manifestation, is gratitude. Be grateful. Be grateful that they would be showing up in your life, and be grateful that they would help you manifest something you desire. Now, the funny thing about that story is, remember, I had been celibate for 14 years. So when we started having sex, it was like I was crazy about this one. And like to the point where I was imagining, like, I'm gonna marry her, you know. And I went back and did divination work with Inanna, and was like, can I marry this woman? And Inanna, in the divination, said, no, you can't marry her. You know, she's not interested in a long-term relationship, and she's certainly not interested in marrying you. You asked for a short-term sex partner, and that's what she is. That's how she understands this. And so, again, I just said, I'm grateful for however long we were going to be dating, and when it ended, I said, we can be friends or whatever. But at the end of it, I was just grateful for the experience. So that's the message that I have as it relates to working with a divine energy, any divine energy. Some divine energies are more tenacious than others, in my opinion. I think, like I said before about Inanna, Inanna is a sovereign. She's an ancient goddess, and she was a sovereign Mesopotamian goddess. She is a very powerful goddess to be working with. And if you ever got the opportunity to work with her, you should be grateful. But I think that goes for any deity, any fairy, any dragon, any jinn, any succubi, any kind of divine energy who's willing to work with you, willing to show up in your life in a way that's very real. You should be grateful. I think you should be grateful for yourself as well. There are things in this life that you should hold sacred, and your energy, your divine energy, should be sacred to you. Society tries to undervalue and marginalize people and convince them to marginalize themselves. But if you followed your intuition, you would know that you are a valuable energy in your life. It almost sounds ridiculous having to say that, but I'm asserting it, and I'm speaking it into your life that you are valuable, and you need to understand yourself as valuable and sacred. But that's my story. That's my story about a quote-unquote love spell. And I hope that it was beneficial for you. Peace and blessings.